Good morning, our buddies. I couldn't tell if I was live. I think I am. Good morning and welcome into my channel, Free Collage with Pink Girly. I've got my phone here. I'm all set, I think. I'll do a little experimenting today. I should have probably put in my description box if you wanted to paint along what you needed. So if you are just joining in or listening and you would like to, oh, got a problem. Oh, there we go. Okay. I didn't have the sound turned down on my phone. And you want to grab a couple of things and you don't have any junk mail, just grab a piece of, say, watercolor paper or mixed media paper, or a little journal, maybe something not like a sketchbook because that paper is a little lighter. You want some paper that's got a little bit of weight to it. You probably could even use a piece of cardstock if you wished to do that. But I've got a piece of junk mail here that I just received yesterday. I don't think I generally get too much in the way of what I would call good junk mail. So Teresa was in and she said she's off to the doctor. So Candy and I wished her well, sent her on her way. And so I want to say good morning to Candy. She's here. Jean just popped in. Hi, Jean. Thanks, Jean. You're a sweetheart. She put my link in another feed that we're both members of. I appreciate that. So here we are. It's Thursday and it's gorgeous here today. I have to say, we've had some heat, but boy, it's beautiful out there now. So I've got the door open. So our lawn guy, he's already been here, cut the grass. So hopefully we won't hear too much in the background as far as lawn and noise, but it's beautiful. So I'm going to leave the door open. So let's see. Still having trouble with my eyes. Hey, there's Bug. Good morning, Bug. So I'm thinking it's allergy related. I don't know. My husband's struggling too a little bit. Of course, it doesn't, I guess, make too much sense to have the doors open, but anyway, here we are. So I'm just still trying to get situated. Hey, Shelley, good morning, good morning. Come on in. There's Brenda Mack. Hi, Brenda, good morning. Joyce, good morning. So I have my little palette here. Well, it may not be too little. I got this at a thrift shop. It's like a trivet. Oh, I like white so I can see my colors really well. Just got these little feet on it, so that's good. It doesn't slip and slide around. And Jackie, there she is. Good morning. I've got some paper toweling. I'm using acrylic paints today. And I mentioned before, hey, Carol, good morning. Oh, I've got some talented girls here. You're all very talented. I should say painters. I know Candy. She's educated in art. And we've got Carol, who does wonderful things with paint. So welcome in. Thanks for coming. And there's Shaz. Good morning, my dear friend. Good morning. Well, it's evening for you. Good evening. Good evening. Trying to keep the different time zones straight can be a little dicey at times. So I'm wondering if there's part of the problem. I have my super strong glasses on. Let me just show you a few things here. So if some of you will recall, I just signed up to take some abstract art lessons, and they're online. You just watch them when you have time. They weren't super expensive, but I wanted to expose myself to something a little different. So this is different for me. And she's got us using, let me show you this little journal. Now I've got to put something in its place or I'm going to have an avalanche. Let's see, what do I have here? If I can, I'm going to grab my baby wipes. Let me see if that'll. I should have moved all this stuff, but I didn't. So this is just a little 5x5, and it's got watercolor paper in it, which she recommends because it holds a lot of paint. I showed this the other day. So this was my lesson one. I do not have the right paint colors that she's using. So of course, oops, see, I just like, this is my lesson number one. And this is lesson number two. And then I went to Michael's yesterday and bought some paint. But I did really good. I filled up my cart online and it was really expensive. And I thought, this is crazy to spend this. So I thought, well, let me run to the store. I thought the store had a different deal than what they actually did. But, I generally get things like that wrong. It's just, we'll just call it a quirk. We'll just call it a quirk. So I went to Michael's and picked up some fun colors. So colors like melon and aqua and like a bubblegum pink. And she uses a navy, so I got a navy type color. And so I'm going to see what I can do with that in this piece of junk mail, because this came and I popped it open and I thought, this could turn out to be something cute. So of course it's they're selling cars, and it goes like this. This I think I'm going to tear off. So I started to do a little bit of prep in here. Now, of course, the paper is slick and glossy. So I did sand it down and then wiped it up with a baby wipe. And I've had a couple of things that didn't go so well already with this, but I'm just going to forge ahead and do it. It's just, this was going to go in the trash. So I'm just going to play with it and see what happens. Now, the lady that I'm taking the classes from, and this is my personality. Okay, it's not a good trait. I'm kind of like a knee-jerk kind of a person. Like I go, ooh, and I go and I don't do any research. I should have probably looked around maybe for some other classes that were available, but I went with this gal, and her name is Yvette Saint Amant. And yes, I did sand it, Shelley. I already did sand it. So I sanded it and then wiped off the dust, because you can't believe what comes off of these things. I mean, you can't really tell, but see, it looked better than this. So I did sand it. However, I probably didn't sand it as well as I should have, and I'll show you why in a minute. But anyway, so she uses these little dishes. You can get them in the Dollar Tree, I'm sure, and you get 6 or whatever for $1.25 now or whatever it is. I personally don't like this so much. It is still a little shiny, because these are a pain in the tush to clean out. I don't like cleaning these out. Now, if you're doing it yourself and you're not recording and you don't have people watching you, you could probably just fill it up and keep putting paint on top of paint, and then it'll just pick out. But it's just not fun for me. I don't really use them too much. So I did sand it, but see, it still is a little glossy. So sanding it is not, well, it's not rocket science, but I have been using just an old emery board, again from the dollar store. So you just want to try to get that shine, knock that shine back. Just knock that shine back. Now I have a big block that I have sandpaper on. I just covered really roughly this because it was handy. It's just a stamp on a block, And I should attach this somehow. I should ask the scooter about get me some. Yeah, I got gesso too. So let me just, you're getting ahead of me, girls. You're getting ahead of me. So you just want to sand this as best as you can. Now this is the same like when I was painting on the composition book covers. You want to do the same thing. You want to sand this down as well as you can and knock that shine off. Girls, you're hitting me hard this morning. Hold on. Okay, so then I want to take a baby wipe and wipe this down. So you want to do that for each page that you're going to work with. So I was, of course, trying to prep some pages quickly this morning, and I thought I'll get a couple painted ahead of time so we don't have to sit together and watch paint dry, you see. And so the first thing I did was flip to the back, and I painted these the way that my teacher, my instructor, suggested. And you can see I did sand it, but when I used my heat tool to dry the pages, and they felt dry. They were not cool to the touch. But then when I flipped it shut like this to do this part, this little bit here stuck to here, and I couldn't get it apart. And see, this is how it lifts up. But see, you can see I sanded under there. So maybe I just had the paint a little too thick there. I'm not, but I'm going to use that to my advantage. We're gonna see how that. So it's got several pages in here, and then when I was fussing around with this, I thought, well, what about gesso? Maybe I could put some gesso on. That would give me some tooth, as they say. So you can, something get attached to it, right? So this is a thin coat of white gesso. I also sanded this, and then I wiped it off with the baby wipe, and then put a thin layer of white gesso. And then I thought, well, Laura, you do have clear gesso somewhere. And I actually, oh, look here, this is the booger glue coming off. I didn't notice that before. So I did have clear gesso. So I thought, let me get that out. So I opened up my jar of clear gesso, and it was all dried up. Shock of all shocks. So then I thought, well, what about some golden matte medium? So I sanded this page, wiped it down. Not all junk is created equal, right? So I sanded it down, and then I put a thin coat of golden matte medium on here. All right. So see, this is extra glue that's kind of seeped around the edges. I tried to be really careful, but now these have been sanded a little. I should sand them more. But we're just gonna go and move forward. Okay, we're just gonna move forward because this is what I planned for today. I'm gonna rip this flap off. And I don't think I'm going to use this for anything. Hey, good morning, Heidi. Nice to see you. Oh, you don't, Shaz? You don't get junk mail? Well, I guess that's a good thing, too, really. Now, it could be that the junk mail I get, I just don't use it well. Now, there are some people like our dear Peggy. She is like the junk mail queen. She can make anything look really great and different, So, on the back cover, I did a little better. So I put a dark and then a white. Now, the gal that I'm taking the lessons from, and there are other people out there, I don't have anything to compare it to, so I'm just going with what I decided. And she uses a darker side and then the white side. She calls this fresh, where you have this a background of just white. So I'm kind of just did something odd there. And so I really wanted to use these 2 pages, and I think I'm going to work upside down because it doesn't really matter, right? This can be the front now, and this can be the back because I'm going to cover it anyway. So I am, well, that does look like a wing, doesn't it? So basically what she does is she's going to be teaching us like color wheel stuff, which I don't know anything about. So if you're a replayer or you're new to this channel, I am not educated in art at all. Anything I've learned, it's just by doing it or watching a video. I've not taken any art classes or any of that jazz. I'm just a plain old mom who likes to mess around with art stuff. So what Yvette does is she uses a catalyst. I talked about that the other day, where it's really like a rubber spatula kind of thing. And she puts paint down and she just smears it around and scrapes it. I didn't know it had a name. I thought it was a scraper. It's called a catalyst. And it's kind of a rubbery, I still haven't found mine. It's kind of a rubber um product, but it's not real stiff. It's got a little bit of give to it. The one I have has three different sides, a straight side, and then it's got a little curvy thing. Um, and I think I've got one that's got little square notches one side. But you also can use a credit card or a piece of really stiff cardstock. So I spread this around earlier. And I'm doing it this way because my lesson, this is what happened. The darker side was over here, and the right hand side was the white or the fresh side. So she picked out like three or four different colors that she wanted to use. And hey, there's our Peggy. Were your ears burning? Oh, she's got a hair appointment. She's gonna go get beautiful. That's fun, Peggy. Nice to see you. All right, I hope I didn't miss anyone else coming in. I'm kind of looking at my screen and also looking at my phone to read chat. So, does anybody need for me to show you how to spread the paint? Because I can do that. And if you want to work along or kind of, if you want to go grab an art book or Heidi, I'm kind of there too. My youngest sister's really into all the skincare and the makeup and all that jazz. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not wired that way. Not wired that way. All right, so I want to grab a couple more of these other colors. So I'm using like a fuchsia, a hot pink. She used an aqua type color. This one's called Sea Breeze. Oh, see, this says bright orange. I thought it was in the slot where the melon was, and I didn't. You do. You're at the doctor's office. You're going to have to do it later, Tracy. And I picked up this citron green, which is really a wild kind of a green. That's like the background of the Grinch's eyeballs. And let's see, there's a navy. What did I get for the navy? I got a deep midnight blue. I might use my Payne's gray because that's already open. So maybe I'll use that up first. But anyway, okay, I don't see anybody say that you really need to see me spread paint. I said I was going to flip this around, but now that I'm looking at it, this works in my brain more in this position up here to the left. So I'm going to go outside the normal. Oh, I just got to take the pooch out. Okay. So you want to preserve or protect the pages underneath, really just because, you don't want to get your surface all messed up if you don't to, number one. Number two, you want to protect what's underneath those other pages because you don't want to have to deal with a lot of slopped over, messy paint. Okay, welcome back, Shaz. All right, Brenda said her grandkids picked up neon green paint for the green paint I asked for. I love neons. I love the neons. The only thing is, I think they're translucent. They're not opaque, which at times, you wish maybe they were opaque, but I do love the neons. Teresa loves neons. I will just tell you that as well. All right, so let's get another sheet of paper. Oh, he's mowing the neighbor. I thought he was. Oh, there he goes. He's scooting just a little bit. See if I can get another sheet of paper under here. Good morning, Gail. Um, it is so nice here. Gail, is it nice for you? I mean, it is so nice here today. If we would go to the pool, we would be chilly. We would be chilly. All right, so I've already spread and scraped my paint on this side. I'm trying to scoot all this stuff up. And don't get concerned, Jazz. I'm feeling okay, but I'm putting some stuff away. Putting some stuff away. Oh, she also uses an acrylic ink. So I pulled out my black acrylic ink. I have a couple of these, and she mentioned that the one she uses, which I don't know if it's this one or not, has a smaller eyedropper, which causes you to make thin lines and make some marks. What's Teresa say? Lori, yes, yesterday and so far today has been beautiful, says Gail, but rather cold for July. Yes, so cold last night we had to close the house up. Oh my. Okay, now Candy says, I think about the neons. She likes the neons, but if you add white, they're no longer, yeah, cuts that neon, huh? Oh, that's a good call. Good. See, I wouldn't have thought about that, but that's good to know. All right, so let's get rid of this glue. I don't think I'm going to need that today, or at least not right now. And I'm going to push some of this back. See if I can move this up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So all she had to do was just start making some shapes and then layering up and doing different layers. Now I'm going to put some paint out on my palette. So you just use your favorite brushes. You didn't really specify. You want a variety. If you have some flats or some rounds, and if you know how your brushes work and you've got some favorites, I would say go with those. She also said, you know what, don't worry about your circles being real round or your squares being real square. It's abstract. Enjoy the process, enjoy the painting, and just go for it. So, all that to get to this point where, here we go. So, I'm going to start with some circles because that's what we did, and I'm comfortable enough with that. So, I've got kind of a fuchsia color, some hot pinks. So, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to put a dark fuchsia circle right here. Now, when you're using acrylic paints, I'm just going to assume you don't know anything. And this is just some stuff that I learned when I was painting ceramics and whatnot. You don't want to put a dry brush, meaning a brush that has been cleaned and has no paint in it, into wet paint. You want to wet your brush first, okay? And like kind of condition that, get that nice and moist. And then you're just going to take off that extra water because you don't want it to make your paint real watery, right? And then you can put it in your paint. And try not to get your paint all the way up to this metal piece, which is called the ferrule, I believe. And you don't want the paint to get back up in there because then you can't clean it out. Your bristles get all covered with paint, and then before you know it, it's falling apart. So I'm just going to start by making a big circle. And I'm going to paint it in, and I'm not going to worry about how round it is, or at least I'm going to try not to worry about how round it is. But I'm going to try to get a clean edge. You can put your pinky finger down. Now, if you're really, crazy and particular, and you want to, make a circle and draw it, trace something, go ahead, We're all wired different, but Oh, wrong end of the brush. For me, one of the reasons I kind of want to do this is because I am too tight with my painting. Like if I have a pattern, I want to follow the pattern. I want it to look like the picture. I try not to, go too far from, you know, stray too far from the sample. And I'm trying to loosen up a little bit with my painting and just do it, not expect it to be perfect. All right, so that's my fuchsia. Now, it's going to take a little bit for that to dry, of course. I can use my heat tool, which I may. I'm disappointed that I got this bright orange and I thought it was melon. Look, I rolled that brush right back into the paint. Oh, right. How did you make out, Joyce, with that crushed fence? Oh, you do, Heidi? Mm. Yeah, we had that weather a couple days ago, but today it is nice. It is nice. Um, so I'm going to just go with what I have because I don't have melon. I do not have a melon. I'm using my little blade here to cut that plastic top off, that protects the paint, you know, jar. Okay, so I'm going to give it a shake. And I guess I could add some paint to this to make a melon color, but I got to make enough to use it in other places. So, I don't know. I'm just going to see what the orange looks like. That's always the way, Joyce, right? When it rains, it pours, as they say. All right, let's see. Well, this looks like a really ripe cantaloupe, so let's just say it is melon. Uh, all right, I'm going to make another circle. I'm going to make this circle um, across the ditch here. I'm going to make this circle here, and then I'm going to put another one, I think, over here. And I'm going to use this orange. Now my brush is still wet. And I'm going to go right over top of that other paint that I already put down. And meanwhile, it's going to give this a little time to dry. And then I'm just going to go here. And then she had us do some circles that were off the page. And you want different sizes and whatnot too. So we're just building up and then we're going to start layering things. The next color she had us use was an aqua. So I picked up a sea breeze, this is a color I've had before and I enjoyed. So I just got it again and it's kind of like an aqua. Sure, Teresa. If you think that would work better for you, Teresa's asking if she can use something to make a circle shape like the jar of a lid or a toilet roll. Yes, if you have a mind to do that and you don't want it to be wonky. See, these are not perfect. They're not perfect. They're not too bad, but they're not perfect. Embrace the wonkiness. Embrace the wonkiness. All right, so let's get a little bit of this turquoise down. Now I'm going to make these smaller. So I think I'm going to get a smaller brush to help me control that size a little bit. And I'm going to do several. And I'm going to move them, have them go up the page. Again, I'm going to wet my brush. before I load it up with paint. Take off that extra moisture. And I'm just going to start doing littler circles. And I'm going to do a half circle, I think here, the page. And putting that finger down helps me steady my brush, and I can almost use it like I would a crayon or a pencil. Another little one. I think splats are cute though, Teresa. I think splats are real cute. Now I'm trying to remember what I should have kept my book out. I'm trying to remember what she had us do over here. Oh, I remember now. Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter. We can do whatever you want. It's abstract, right? And let's do a half up here, a little half moon up here. Okay, so I think that's good enough. Now you may need to do a second coat, which I'm thinking these orange ones. They're kind of little. Even the opaque paint sometimes is a little more translucent than what you would think. So I'm going to come back in to that orange and give them this another little coat here. So you do what you like to do. Now, I always forget, but if you're right-handed, you should really start at the left and come this way, so then you don't stick your hand or your fist in wet paint. If you're left-handed, do the opposite. I always forget that, and then I usually end up getting paint on my hand. Which can be a little bothersome. Now, you want to have a liner brush or a thinner brush, if she says. I call it a liner brush. Maybe she didn't use that term because she didn't want to scare people away. I don't know. Oh, I'm glad that was something you didn't realize. Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's a good habit to get in. Now, if you're using a different technique in a dry brush, you don't want to do that, but Okay, so I have to decide about this little wing here. I think I'm going to fill that shape in with my darker fuchsia. So don't forget, if your brush has been sitting a little while, make sure you put it in some. Now, I'm not going to be real particular about this either. I'm just going to try to fill this in. Now, this is paint that picked off by accident, or on accident, as my kids used to say. It was just on accident. Now, if I was here by myself and not recording or with you guys, I would probably flip this book around and paint it better, but it's kind of hard to. Candy says a liner brush, oops, brushes have extra long. Yeah, I'm going to get one out in a minute. I hope, because I just cleaned my brushes I was using. And you don't want to leave your brushes sitting in your water, okay? You want to rinse. Hey, Vale, good morning. Because when they sit down in the water, unless you've got some kind of a screen or mechanism under there to hold them up, they get like this. And they sit there like that. And the next time you go to use your brush is bent that way. Trust me, you will not be happy. You will not be happy. Now, I'm hoping I can find my favorite liner brush, which I don't know that I can. Let's see if I can. I forgot to get the liners out. I should have looked for one yesterday. Oh, because I like this little Princeton brand. All right, this one's kind of in crazy shape, but I think I can. Oh, here it is. This one's. I need to replace this one. This one's really getting worn out. All right, so there's different sizes. Maybe Candy or Carol can help us with us. A number 2, you've got more bristles, more hairs, I believe, and then there's like a 1, and then I don't know if it's the small 2 is smaller and 1 is bigger, and then they have like a 10/0 or something. I don't really know how that all works. I did not look that up or study that. I don't know. I'm just doing this because I like it. Just doing it because I like it. All right, so I'm going to wet that liner brush as well. Now I'm going to put out on my palette, I'm going to use some, she uses a navy, not a black. And I'm sure there's a reason for that. But I'm going to use my Payne's Gray because I like it. And it's dark and it kind of looks like a navy-ish kind of it'll give that kind of a contrast. So I'm going to put a little bit of this here. You don't have to put out a lot. Put out a little. You can always put out more. You can't get it back in your pot. Well, I guess you could, but you don't want to put it back in your bottle. So now we're going to come around the circles with this dark color. And we're going to use a liner brush because we want our line to be as thin as we can get it to some degree. And we want to, I'm just thinking I should have put, well, I can do that in a minute. You want to stay up on the tip of your brush as much as you can. If you press down, you're going to get a thicker line. Now, you can also use a marker. Use a marker. And you want to thin, if you're going to use and do lines, you want to thin this paint out. I say like the consistency of maybe like milk is too runny, heavy cream is probably too thick, so somewhere in between. And when you load your brush, you drag it through the paint and twist it. That's what I was taught. Drag and twist, drag and twist. And so I'm going to go around. Let's start over here because that's what I said. That's what I said to do. And I'm just going to try, and I'm going to leave a space. I'm not going to come, no, you know what? This one I'm going to go right up against the circle. Now, if you get enough paint in that brush, you get a pretty good stroke. Now, I see that Heidi's making a good point there. I'm going to read that to you in a minute. Heidi said, if you leave your brush sit in the water, it also will suck up the water and the glue will end up coming loose and your bristles will fall out. Yeah, and also the handle, the paint or the coat of whatever they have on the handle, that splits and comes up. Believe me, I've done it. I'm very, very hard on my brushes. So if you can stay up on and not mash it down, like, see, I should show you here. I should put a clip on my mug because I'm about ready to put my brush in here. If you stay up on the tip of your brush, you can get a thinner line. If you put pressure, which sometimes you may want to, you get a thicker line. So, sometimes you just want to sit and just practice with your brushes and let your hand go, let your arm go. Let's just, let yourself go. See now there, I'm light and then pressure, light and then pressure. You can do a light, oops, it's not pointing. Light, pressure up, like that. You just practice, just practice. If you practice with a liner brush, I'm telling you, it's going to end up being one of your favorite brushes. It just will. Okay, so now I think I want to put the dark around the other orange and then also around this fuchsia. See, I get talking and not working. All right, so we're just going to follow the wonkiness. Embrace the wonky. All right, let's not fuss with it. And then let's just go around this orange. One. Okay. Now, around these turquoise, things I already have them on white, and I don't want all dark around it. I think I'm going to come around these with a fuchsia, just because I can. Okay. Oh, that helps to do like. Oh, okay, good, Brenda. Okay, so, geez, I hope I didn't. Okay, that's all right, Phil. Oh, Candy said I use chopsticks holds to rest my. Oh, so she puts chopsticks down and then rests her brush on that. I have this little water chip thing over here. It's got little holes that I've been sticking my brushes in. So I think I'll put some white down, and I'm going to make some white circles, and then I'm going to get the fuchsia and put around those. I should have done these white circles before, but I'm just winging this, guys. I'm a winging. So I'm going to use this smaller brush and get some white circles over here. It's not cleaned out as well as it could be. All right. Woo. See, I hold them very lightly. See, I almost dropped it because you don't want to grip it. Try to loosen up. I'm putting a circle right over top of this here. Now, you could do this on a cover, right? Because I did some painting on composition books, and right now they're cheap. So if you want to pick yourself up some of those to practice, that's fun. They look great. Just make sure you sand it. Let's do one up here. Hey, there's Jen. Hi, Jen. I'm glad you caught me too. Okay, honey. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day. It's really early for you, right, Jen? Early bird. It's a worm. Okay, let's see. I think we need another one over here. Okay. Now, this gal Yvette, she says that a lot of people get excited and don't want to cover up stuff they've already painted on their surface. Let's put a little one over here. And I can see where that might be the case, you know? Not really early. Oh, you're right. Gosh, I always, you know what? I get you confused with Jen Wren, who's in Colorado. Maryland. I got to remember you're in Maryland. You're in Maryland. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So it's not too early for you. All right. So fuchsia. Now this is kind of dried up, but your acrylic paint, once it's dry, kids, it's over. It's over. It will not reconstitute like your watercolor paint. So this is why I say just put a little bit out. You can always add more. And when I was teaching my ceramic classes, my girls would, uh, and I would just like, so a lot of times I would put the paint out for them because they were just heavy-handed. And sometimes it squeezes out, you know, faster than you want it to. So I'm going back to that liner brush. The white, I think, is going to need a second coat. So again, I'm going to put my brush into water and try to thin this fuchsia down a tad. And I'm going to come around close to the circle again. Ooh, that's really close. And start putting some lines around here. I think I better pick up the pace here. We're not going to get much done. Remember, we're not looking for perfection. This is abstract art. And you could pick any shape. Maybe you want squares or triangles or something like that. We're just going to keep adding stuff. All right. Now I used to paint ceramics, so I used to paint a lot of eyelashes using this liner brush. So I'm a little comfortable with it, but I have a hard time doing the swirly things, but I don't loosen up. I don't use my whole arm, which I think you probably should do. So let's get a little more white, slap some more white in these circles, see if we can. There's a little more white, a little more solid. So how is everyone today? What's everybody got on the docks? You got anything planned? Hubs told me he's going out tonight. He's got a church thing to do. Our son called yesterday. He's getting after his health, which is so great. He has ADD. Of course, when he was a kid, he had ADHD, and he saw a neurologist regularly and was on Ritalin for many years. And so he calls me and he says, you know, I want to see. I went to see this doctor about my ADD. I think I'm going to outline this one with the Payne's Gray. See if I can do it without flipping the book around. And he said, Mom, they want the records from when I was a kid, so I don't have to go through all that testing again. He said, I can't remember the doctor's name. He said, I called Dad. He can't remember. So I was actually able to remember her name. So I was pretty pleased about that. So hopefully he can get his records and won't have to, go through more testing. Okay, so that's good. All right. Gail said, I finally got a day mostly tomorrow. Oh, Gail, that's wonderful. No appointments. She's been busy plugging in my embroidery thread collection into it. Oh, no way. Really? Gail, I didn't know that existed. Joy said she's wanting to start a needle book and a sewing journal. that sounds good, Joyce. Oh, Joyce, somewhere I have sewing pages. I wonder if you'd be. I don't know where they are. I'd have to find them. Brenda said she's helping her grandkids do a lemonade stand. Oh, how cute! Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Yes, I guess there is an app for everything. All right, so I was going to put fuchsia around um, those white circles. So let's get after that. So just dipping my brush in again, thinning out the paint. And now think about at this point, she had us do marks. Now this is going to be a little subtle, but that's okay. That's okay. Push down a little too heavy on that one. That's all right. Once you do this and you practice with this liner brush, you'll feel it. Sometimes it might drag, and you'll know you need to add a little water. And it should just glide. Jen said, I'm going to my 13-year-old granddaughter's summer stock. Oh my gosh, she's in Frozen on Sunday. Oh, that sounds so cool. Oh, I used to love summer stock stuff. Oh, I was in a play called Out of the Frying Pan. I was older than 13, though. Out of the Frying Pan, I was the snake charmer. So fun. So fun. Oh, Ambien's here. Hi, good morning. Oh, thank you. Nice to see you. All right, let's get this one. So I'm going to take this acrylic ink. I'm going to use the dropper. I'm going to show you how she had us use the dropper. Now I'm running out of space here to put my pinky down. That's one thing about putting your pinky down. You want to make sure, oh, maybe it won't get down this time. Make sure you don't stick it in wet paint. You know, and it's not so much that it's on your fingers, it's that you mess up whatever you've been working on. This is looking very dotty, isn't it? Very dotty. All right, so she just took her, she used black acrylic ink. Going to sit it over here, uncapping it. It's in case you don't know, it's got a dropper. I guess most of them are like that, but you'll be able to tell because this is rubber, squishy. And you can have. I got a glass pen here. I can use that. I'm afraid that I might scratch the surface, though. That's one thing. So I'm going to stay with what she had us do and just test it. She said you don't want to squeeze the dropper because then you're going to get, a big bump, a big lump. You're just going to drag it and make marks, different shapes. I'm not squeezing, I'm just holding. If you squeeze it, see, you're going to get that big. You don't want that. This is not what you want. Okay. You're just going to make marks just slightly, So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that, I think, on this side, and then we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. And this is just hit or miss, guys. This is just however it turns out, that's how it turns out. This is called mark making. Ooh, got some bumps there, some bumps and some lumps. Then we also can tap it and make spatters, little little drippy dots like this. So you know what? That's what I'm going to do on this side. Not too many. Now you definitely want to have something underneath when you do this. Now this is a not spraying like spattering of the paintbrush. I lost my grip there and got a little heavy-handed, but it's going to dry. I might try to suck that up with let's see. Let's try it. No, that's wet. That's not going to do me. Where's my paper towel? Let's make a little wick. Let's make a little wick. I'm just going to twist a little piece of paper towel and suck up some of this extra ink. See, that works, huh? That works. Heidi says she's just working on making stuff. She needs to do her cards for next month, so they're all done. This one's kind of heavy-handed on that one, too. All right. Now, of course, you want that to dry, you know, so I'm going to use my heat tool to just try to get most of that as dry as I can and not take too much time, you know, waiting for it to air dry. Now, of course, your drops and your bubbles are going to take longer. Right now, I'm going to start making some marks inside. Okay, Jen said she just let the pups out. I know, right? It's beautiful out today. There's Kel. Hello, Kel. Let me have a little sip of my tea. All right, so I'm going to just start putting some different things inside these circles. And I don't really care, you know, if they show up, you know, real well or not. I don't know. I'm gonna put some of this white in the fuchsia and mix a little bit, and let's see what we get, and put that in the fuchsia circle. Now I haven't put any of the hot pink stuff out on my palette yet, but you know, I might just do that too. We'll just see. Now I'm just gonna start putting little spots in here. Just to make it different. Okay, now that didn't hurt, right? That did. Hey, Linda. Good morning. She's on the road today, so she's listening. Okay, drive safely, my dear. Pay attention to what's going on around you. I think in these orange numbers, I'm going to put some lines with the Payne's Gray. So I'm going to go back in here with my liner brush, loosen this up a little bit. And some of that black is still wet, but that's okay. I'm just going to start doing some lines. And they don't have to be all, you know, connected. Just give some texture looking marks. They don't have to be all the same thickness either. Just have fun, practice. This is a good way to practice with your brush, right? And then let's see how the turquoise looks in the orange. Let's try that. Not sure how this is going to look, but we're going to go for it. Again, I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do like stripes, but then crisscross them and try to make like squares or plaids or something. So I'm just gonna go in one direction. These I am trying to make straight, or as straight as I can. And then I'm gonna go this way. Can't really see that too great, but that's okay. It's all right. So now let's come back in there with a little bit of the Payne's Gray. And I'm going to go to the left of those lines. Oops. Add some dark. And then I'm going to go underneath. All right. Then I think with the fuchsia, I think I'm going to need some more of that fuchsia out. I'm going to try to make little hearts here and there, just here and there in some of those squares. So this is kind of like doodling, right? All right, so I'm getting that smaller round brush here. And I'm just going to tap down and do this heart. I'm going to load my brush pretty well. And I'm just going to press and pull, press and pull. Kind of makes a little heart, kind of like that. This is not the best brush for this, so let's switch that out. Let me pick another one. That kind of looks a little bristly. It's, if you're unsure, we all have scrap paper sitting around, so I know it's hard to sometimes use a scrap paper because you have other plans for it, but that's a little better, not much better. I don't want to spend all day picking out a brush, but I'm going to go with this one. All right, let's see what I can do here. Let's see. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? This is abstract art. Sometimes maybe just do a half or a partial. Adds interest to whatever you're doing. Doesn't really even have to stay in the square, right? I can't pick it up and show you. I'll show you when I'm all done today, but I've got it pinned under here and, you know, the paper underneath kind of protecting it. Maybe I'll do hearts in these white bubbles, but let's go ahead and do it with the turquoise. I'm using both colors on both sides. I don't really remember what she says about the colors. I'm pushing down a little harder on this because I want the hearts to be a little bigger. And sometimes at the dollar stores and all, or Five Below, places like that, you can get a little paintbrush set for, you know, not a whole lot of money. All right, I'm going to go back into this bright orange with my liner brush. And, you know, maybe I won't do that. Maybe you know what, I'm going to do the Payne's Gray again. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to go around these circles, these turquoise circles again, or aqua, however you want, whatever you want us. To me, it's kind of the same color. I'm going to leave a white space and come around and do another line. This is where it gets dicey. But it's okay if it's not perfect. I got it on my finger that time. We're just adding some interest, okay? That one got more like a hill instead of a circle. And we're coming around here. Now, another thing she had us do was just put little lines on the outside of these circles. Hey, there she is. Hi, Barbara. Good morning. Nice to see you. She made it. She made it. Everybody, this is 6824. 6804. She joined us late last night. Not what? Oh, no, not last night. Tuesday night. And her name is Barbara. All right, so let's go. I'm going to make little lines this way. I'm going to do just the bottom half because this is what's easy for me to do without turning my work. Okay. Were you out and about already? Oops, wrong paint, wrong color. Oopsie. Were you out and about already this morning? All right, let's see. Now you can go in between these with other colors. So let's put a little more white out. Oh, you know what? Let's do some of the hot pink. This is not really hot pink. This is a carousel pink by Americana. Just putting a little. I'm going to go in between those. Now, I don't know how much this is going to show. I'm going to come out further with those lines. Now, if you have a gel pen, she said you can use a gel pen to do these things if you like. We're just, oops, I forgot that circle. We're just having fun creating different shapes and adding things that will just, catch our eye and create interest. Can you guys hear all that noise? Man, it's really noisy. If it's really noisy, I'll go get up. Let me know. I'll get up and go shut the door. I thought he was doing this one. I need this one. And you can go over top of things too, right? This almost looks like a butterfly now that I kind of put. Let's put the Payne's Gray here. All right, then she started to have us do really shocking things like leaves. She had us do leaves. Ooh. Now, while I'm here, I think I'm just going to put a couple little squiggles here. Gonna kind of make this maybe look like a butterfly. Maybe I'll give it some antennas. So, Barbara, tell us what you're interested in. What kind of things do you do art-wise? if you don't mind sharing, so we can get to know you a little better. All right, I'm going to put little dots here on the end of these, supposed to be antenna, to make that look like a butterfly. I wish I could pick it up, but I can't yet. Right, so that's good. Now, somewhere here amongst this nonsense on my desk, I have a really nice gel pen. Whoops. Whoop, whoop. And let's see if I can see where I put it. Oh, you know what? I'll use my pasta pen. I'm going to go around the hearts and make a black outline. I think that looks cute. Hey, there's Beth. Hi, Beth. Good morning. I think it's still morning. I didn't look. Yep, still morning. I've got to turn my tea here. Okay, so that's all right. Now, I'm going to pick out a darker green because I think that will look good. Let's see what we got here. This is Hauser dark green, and this is Americana paint. And I'm going to start making some leaves. I'm going to use maybe the white first on this side. I'm going to put some leaves here and some leaves here. And where I'm going to put them here, there, and everywhere. Just going to do the outline first. So a little bit of the Hauser green. I'm going to use a thicker liner brush. This one's not as in great shape. Barbara says, old artists that just started watercolors, but do a bit of all kinds of fun creative stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of gals in, oops, almost to the T, in this particular circle who really like watercolor. That's really cool. All right, so I'm loading up this brush and we're just going to see how it goes. I'm going over top of this stuff. So this is where it's scary. And I'm just going to start making some outlines of some leaf shape things. This is where it starts to really start looking abstract-y, you know. So I'm going to rinse that out. Again, I need some more white. See, if I put it all out at once, okay, Cal, you're going to get a skin on it. So just put a little bit out at a time when you're using the acrylic. All right, I'm going to do leaves up this way. And I'm using really large leaf shapes, just trying to exaggerate the shape. Just do one this way. I think I want one up top. Let's do one this way. And this way. I think I need more here, just something to fill in there. I think I'm going to use a Q-tip or a cotton bud or something, whatever. I'm going to use a Q-tip because I just want to make little splotches of color. And Gil says, I love watercolor paintings, but I really am awful at it. Oh, I am too, Gil. And I don't have the patience to try to get better at it. Well, at least you know, right? At least you know yourself. All right, I'm going to just start making little groupings of some spots like this. And these look really hairy. Barbara says she's still hoarding paint and paper and brushes. Yeah, that happens. That happens with my fabrics and stuff too. All right, let's now you can use a dotter. I was just thinking this might get, look, see, I just did what I told you not to do. I put my finger into orange paint. Yeah, well, I have hoarding issues for sure. I'm filling in that whole space right there. Now over here, I'm going to do the same thing, and I think I'm going to use the fuchsia because I have that on my palette, and I'm just going to start making some little random dot kind of marks to just fill in some of the gaps. I'm not being neat with it. I'm not really caring about being super neat. I'm just going to come around this circle. And then I'm going to go around this one as well. And you can come back in that. I'm going to come back in that with the light pink and dot back on top and give that a little two-tone look. Look at me getting all fancy here, huh? Now let's add some pink here to some of these. You can do this, of course, with the dotting tool. You could use the end of a toothbrush. You could use a skewer. You could use an ink pen that's, all the, okay, welcome back, Kel. Ink pen that's dried up, you could do that. Then she did something really bold. She took the darkest color and she did more leaves, and it almost made it look like a dark shadow. Dark shadow. So I'm going to take some more of my Payne's Gray. Now remember this, if you're just popping in, this is no rhyme, no reason. This is just whatever comes into my head. I'm just doing it. Some of the things, of course, are from the couple of the lessons that I took, but there's no plan for this particular piece, which it may it may look like that, but all right. So I'm going to make a line through here, and then I'm going to put leaves on it. And this is scary because I'm going over top of things. Not the best line. Dragged it through the white, which just kind of looks cool. See, I'm kind of getting a little bit of a drag here. I don't have enough water in this paint. And I don't have my pinky down. So my line is kind of whoop, 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 whoop. Now I think ideally the leaves would be bigger at the bottom and smaller at the top. Now she, being Yvette, the girl whose lessons I purchased, she made this kind of a leaf here. This is what she likes to do. It's almost like two parentheses if you think about it together. If you're like, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. It's like making two parentheses close together. And then I'm going to try to get bigger as I go down. I'm getting big pretty quick. Now, when you're doing this yourself, if you choose to do this kind of thing, pick it up and move it around. I'm kind of stuck here. This is difficult if I'm really honest for me, because I like to pick my pieces up even when I'm coloring and, move it all around. I have it under my chin. I have it sitting up on my boobs. It's just how I am. But so this is, I mean, I really respect people that can do this and make it look, pretty good without picking it up and twirling it all around. I'm a twirler. I'm a twirler. All right, so I'm going to try to get bigger here as we come down. Now, this probably would look just fine with the leaves being all the same size, too. But this is all new to me, so I'm just going with what I'm thinking should be a good plan. I'm going to put a couple up this way because it popped into my head and I think it might look good. So let's just, oh, thank you, Brenda. Let's just go this way and cross over. That's a little thicker than what I wanted. And I'll put another one out this way. And I'm going to do the same thing. Now we're going to paint these in. This is going to be solid. Now I might discover through all this that abstract is really not my thing, but I'm using paint. I'm using some of the supplies I have. I'm using junk mail. Hello. So it's all good, right? Yeah, you can do this without making these little lines. Let me show you that part. So this is what Yvette does. She makes her little outline shapes first, and then she comes back with her paintbrush and she paints them in. Now remember, even though you've been using your brushes and you have them sitting while you're using other colors, they can dry out. So make sure you stay with the program and put that brush back into your water before you put it into your paint. Your uh-oh, it looks like yeah, I don't know if I can do it on my phone. Looks like 6 got hidden. Let me find my mouse. Oh yeah, where did I put my mouse? Here it is. I'm gonna hop over to YouTube. So just give me a second. It might sound a little funny, but let me hop over. If I can get in there. Because I can't do it from I can't do it from uh, hmm. I don't see how to I didn't see a choice there. I wonder if it's just hey Judy, hi, good morning. So she was just hidden. Oh, she already was unhidden. Oh, Gail did it. Oh, thanks, Gail. Gail. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start painting in these squares. Okay, Barbara, you're unhidden. Not squares, leaves. And start over here and just start painting these in. And so once you have your lines there, painting them in is pretty easy. Gail unhid her. She did. She's so good at this. I'm a terrible mod. Oops. That's a big chunka. See, so look how cool. See, to me, this looks cool, right? I think even those up there probably should get. Hey, Jill, good morning. Let's paint these in too. Now, this is what Yvette was talking about. You're like, oh, I painted all that stuff. I put these on there. Now I'm going to paint over them. Yes, that's what you're going to do. And you're just going to do it. Because eventually it looks really cool. Now you can also just make brush stroke leaves instead of making these little outlines. But if you're not comfortable with that, there's a couple of different ways that you can always do something, right? Trying to follow along where my pattern is here. Now you can really fuss and come back in and make these look be a little more like a leaf. Now I'm going to get that smaller brush. Barbara, say something. Speak to us, Barbara. Yeah, I hope she didn't either. We'll see. She could be busy doing something. I don't know if I can find her to chat with her later. We'll have to see if I can find her. Okay, so now I'm going to take this smaller brush, load that up with my paint, and on this smaller area, I'm just going to press down and drag my brush to make these petals. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Isn't that the saying? I shouldn't say that with cat lovers here. There's always more than one way to do something. How else do you say that? There's another way to say that. There's more than one way to something that's not negative. I know it's an old time saying. More than one way to. What's the other way to say it, Gail? There's another saying that's got a similar meaning. You're looking up. Made by Marley. Well, more than that's a better way. Thank you, Marley, and hello, welcome in. All right, let me do this other branch. There are many paths to, oh, I haven't heard of that one. That's a cool one. Many paths to the top of the one. Yeah, more than one way to cook an egg. There you go. That's good. Cook a goose. More than one way to cook a goose. I don't know. Anyway, I'm filling up my page with all these dark leaves. Hey, View. Good morning. All right, she was called 6804. I have to remember that. Okay, let's see. And I can add more in here. Now, when she goes in, she adds different colors. There's more than one way to paint a leaf. Woohoo! All right, let's get some of this turquoisey color. I'm going to add some of that white in with it. And then I'm just going to add more little leaves in here. So you just keep layering. Just keep layering. And then let's do, let's see, I'm not, there she is. You talked to your son and made a sandwich. Okay, you got scooted out on accident, Barbara. We were concerned that you might be upset, but it was by accident. Sometimes your mouse gets moving and doing, and then hey there. Oops, I didn't want that color. Hey Jen, what Jen Wren said? What Jen Wren scraps? Or how you doing? That's Kellyanne's voice twin. All right, let's lighten this up a little bit. I'm gonna, well, you don't really see that too much, do you? Let's see how the white looks. Just kind of, these are just like little press sleeves. I've got two colors on my brush, which really kind of looks a little cool. It's hard to see, I think, for you guys, but I can see it in person. Then she came back in and she had us put little dots or additional color at the bottoms of those leaves. Now, this is where I like to use a dotting tool of some kind if you have it. But there again, I said you could use a toothpick. You could use, a cotton swab. You could use the end of your brush, a pen that's out of ink, any of those. Or if you're into making dots, you can use a dotting tool. Let's see. I had mine sitting right up. Okay, had the wrong drawer. So let me grab one of my dotting tools. I don't want one that's super small. Now you want your paint to be not real, dried out, so you can get it. You didn't even know. Well, good. At least you weren't offended. That's good. All right, so I'm going to come back in here with some of this Payne's Gray and put a dot at the bottom of these leaves. Now, at some point, you say to yourself, okay, this looks good and I'm done. You could add more marks on top. I'm sure. I don't think I have any white. Oops, that's the wrong leaf. Actually, I probably do have some white acrylic ink. Now, if you're using a dotter, make sure you clean off the daughter every once in a while because your dots will start getting to be a different size. Now, while I have this daughter out, I think I want to put some let's put some of this dark green around the bottom of these circles. Now, I'm not redipping, just dipping once, and then I'm just do four little dots. Four little dots, that's all I'm doing is four little dots. Now, you know we had to sing 2, 3, 4 because they graduate in size, bigger, and then they'll get smaller as you dot. If you want your dots to be the same size, you have to reload the paint each time. Now this, I think I want a little brighter, so I'm going to go in back in there with the paintbrush and just make some marks, and I'm going to just use the white. Just a messy little spattering of paint marks. That shows up a little better. I think that's good. Now I'm going to go over top of, kind of lost the butterfly, so I'm going to put a little bit of white on top of that. There she is, Teresa. Woohoo! My mail says I'm getting a package from Jersey. Oh, Jersey. Yes, I got most of my mail out. I've got to get a hold of one gal. She's got a lot going on, so I don't think she's checking her email. Right now. Ooh, I almost did the tea again. Now, the other thing is she had us put some green, like some of the neon green, like wide blade leaves here. So I'm going to try that with that citron color I purchased. Look at this citron green. This just looks so yummy to me. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to look on this, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Okay, let's see. Let's just see. A little spot of this. Whoop. Now I'm going to use a flat brush. And I'm going to try to make a leaf like that. Same deal, okay? You're going to put your paint brush in water. And then you're going to load your paint on. And you're going to practice. Let's do a practice. Because you're going to load your paint on. And I'm thinking I want to just go flat and then twist it and come up and make a leaf like that. Flat, twist, and make it go, I think, like that. It's really kind of yellowy, isn't it? I don't know what it's going to cover. We'll see. How bad can it be? How bad can it be? I'm going to make several. Hopefully make several. Here's looking at you, kid. I think it needs some other green in it. I think a lot of times it just looks better when somebody else does it. right? I'll make a shorter one here. Let's make a shorter one here. Now let's see how it looks and if I put some white in there. Let's see if I'm just going to try to highlight the side. It's kind of hard to do with that brush. Where's this other liner? Let's see. Yeah, it's not transparent, but you know what? It might not have been shook up real good, Jen. You know, I'll give it another shake. That's a good observation. It does look transparent for sure. They've got that oil or whatever it is on the top. This is the first time I used it, so let's give it a little more of a shake. And sometimes, like I said before, even the opaque ones are a little more translucent than your other paints, but could be because I didn't shake it well. It's still kind of translucent. Mixing it with a little. Now, Candy said earlier, if you take the neon paints, which are translucent, and mix white with them, they're not translucent anymore. So let's. It's a little better. It's a little better. Yeah, that could be. This is all new to me. I mean, I have a heavy body, but you're talking paint. You're talking paint, right, Jen? Woo! Okay. Let's grab some of this darker green. I think that helped a little bit for sure. How are we on time? 11:45. Okay, I'm doing good. Doing good. All right. All right. Let's make a little one here. Twist. Let's try. Let's do some leaves out this way in this citron green color. Now my brush is much too wet. Let's get some of this mixed up with this thicker stuff. Oh, thanks, Candy. That means a lot from coming from you because you can't believe Candy's work, girls. It's just so good. All right, so I'm just coming sideways. Boy, that really got a different color. I want that bright green. Let's see. I'm just trying to scoop some of that white. Well, this is looking wild. But I like it though. I like it. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. Let's do one this way. Or two. See, now you can go back and do whatever, put dots, make more lines. Um, I'm starting to not remember what else she had us do. That's what I was saying earlier, Jen. This is why I'm doing this, to try to make myself loosen up a little bit and do this kind of stuff because I'm used to doing, like years ago, we would trace a pattern, paint it all in, do your shading, add some detail lines. It was good to go. But that kind of keeps me in an artist, kind of a block. And abstract is not something that I would normally do. Bye, Gail. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for coming in. It's always nice to see you. So now let's put some. Well, I think I'm going to put some light turquoisey blue lines in these leaves. So yesterday my eyes were so blurry. I went and used, we have this eye drop stuff for, allergy eyes. I couldn't hardly squeeze that little bottle. Oh my gosh, that little bottle was so difficult to squeeze. Look, I've got a bunch of different colors in here. I'm just adding water. And then I'm going to see what this looks like. Putting a little light kind of up the side here. Well, this is a piece of junk mail, Jen. So all I'm really, it's just paint, right? It's not good paper or anything. So, maybe think about that. I'm going to add some dark on the side here. Now you could really add stamps, if you get blank paper syndrome. Well, then this would work for you, honey. This would work for you. This piece of junk mail. Okay, let's see. Let's add some of this dark here. Now I think I want to spatter white on this side. Now I think I'm going to come back in with my black too and do some more of those marks. Candy's asking, Cal, are you anywhere near Bridgeton, Maine? Inquiring minds want to know, Kellyanne. Now I know I have red. Oh, red. Is that right here, Andy? Where do I have my? Oh, it is. It is. Oh, Amsterdam 318. Okay. Okay, this is not coming undone. Hold, please. Hey, Roseanne. Hi. Good morning. Oh, this is really, it's got, now see, that was on there so tight, but it's so dried up. Let me get one of my wipes here. I'm going to add some red. don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I'm going to do it. It's my painting, right? So I can do what I like. Now this little eyedropper is kind of crazy. It's kind of has a little bit of a bend to it. Do you see that? All right, let's practice. Now I'm not going to squeeze it. This is much bigger and this ink is much thicker. So this is not working for me. See, that's really thick, which I guess that can look okay. But I'm going to get one of my little, I'm going to try one of these little glass pens. Although now that I'm looking at that thickness, this is not too bad. Yeah, this is not working either. All right, plan C. I'm going to go back to the dropper and I'm just going to do it. I don't know exactly where my pippets are. I think I would have a hard time with a pipet. All right, let's try. Not bad. That's not bad. Just making some marks. It's going to take a while for this to dry. So I think that's all I need. You could have added more dots, of course, but I think I'm pretty. I mean, it's really busy. I think I could have backed away from it probably a while ago, right? Let me just hit it with the heat tool just a little bit, and I'm going to take the paper out from underneath. I'll hold it up and show you what happened here. Now the bad part is I can't close the book to show you that some of you, if you just arrived, you know what's going on here. This is just a piece of junk mail. Oh, I painted that side. Wait a minute. I wonder if I flip it over if it'll drip. See, just junk mail. So I sanded the surface, wiped up the dust, and then just put this. I just put acrylic paint down as my first layer to cover up the advertisement, you know. And so what I put on top would show. Now, see this here, the back, I did half. It looks like one of those vanilla chocolate cookies. Oh, I did half and half. But see, I've got this red paint. You know people in Lewiston? Oh, thanks, Jackie. I'm reading I'm reading chat. Candy and Keller talking. Auburn is your twin city? She's got a twin voice. She's got a twin city. So I'm going to let that red ink dry. I don't think that looks too bad for, a piece of junk mail. I might trim this off and make it nice and even. But yeah, this is like a trifold, and then I thought this will make a cute little book. So I tried a couple of things. So I still have a couple pages already prepped to work on. So like I did gesso, white gesso, a thin layer on one page after I sanded it and cleaned off the dust. And then on another page, I tried the same thing, sanded it, cleaned off the dust, and I put a thin layer of golden matte medium. So I'm going to do some of the other pages, and see if I can make this piece of trash. Because for us, we would just throw this in the trash. You know, I can't talk Scooter into a new car yet, so it would just be trash for us. But I don't usually see pieces that come to us in the mail like this. Now, of course, you can do this in an art journal book of some kind. Most of us probably have something like that laying around. And these days, you can pick up almost anything in the dollar store, or you can make your own. You've got some watercolor paper sitting around. You can make your own if you had the energy for that. Yeah, I was thinking this should be the other way, but that's just because of my first lesson. Um, okay, Jen, we might be go. I might be going. Oh, thanks, Kellyanne. Um, so I was going to spatter this side with some white. So let's see how that looks. So let me put out some clean white paint. Now, years ago when I spattered, I would use a fan brush. I would take it outside and, it would go all over. It goes all over. And then when I started on YouTube and I discovered Dee Dee Willingham, she used a liner brush, which it still can go all over, guys. It really can. But to me, the liner brush, it's a little more controlled than using a fan brush or like a toothbrush. Remember, people used to dip a old toothbrush in paint and scrape their finger. And man, that stuff, it just goes everywhere. So just to be a little cautious, I'm going to sit up this little piece of paper here to make kind of like a wall. Now you want your paint thin, I think like milk, but not really, not like skim milk. You know what I mean? And usually a number one brush, which I don't have right here handy, liner, a long brush, it's a number one. This is smaller. This is a 00. You have more hairs. I think it probably works a little better. And then you spatter to your heart's content. If the paint is too thin, it's gonna maybe like bleed and not look like a spatter. And you can tap it, or you can tap it with another brush. So I like how those little lines get. I'll pick it up in a minute so you can see. But I find with the liner brush, it kind of goes almost where I want it. Now, see, it did spray a little bit up here. So, I mean, it does go other places. So if you've got another journal or fabric or something sitting around you don't want paint dots on, move it. I'm just telling you. Move it or dot it. Move it or spatter it. I do love spatter. So I'm putting on quite a lot. Now, I test this too over the trash can. You can take a piece of scrap paper and hold it over your trash can or like down in your trash can. And oh, there you go. Candy said I usually put it in a box before I do that with the brush. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good tip. Good tip. Good tip. All right, let me see if I've got any more of this Payne's Gray here that I can, because I'm going to spatter this side too. Just because I love it so well. Now this is a little finer, so I guess my paint's a little thinner. So I didn't look at the calendar. I'm just thinking now I should probably tell you, and I'll put stuff on my, I can post stuff on my community tab or whatever they call it these days. Ooh, see that I hit with the brush. I think I was down pretty long, pretty far. Let's get a few more over here. I could have spattered on these darker leaves. That might look cool too. But see, with any of this stuff, see, I can get carried away for sure. But you just do as much as you like. Ooh. You almost could say this looks like a hot mess. Wow. Hot mess. Okay. Get this out of the way. Now it really has to dry. And there we are. I'm going to call this done. So another Thursday morning in the books. Hey, let me just pull up my calendar. Let's see if I can do this, because let me talk to you a minute about my schedule. Let's see. Calendar. There we go. Ooh, today's the 20th. Okay, so it's not till next week. All right, so Sunday is another day that I stream live. So I'll be here Sunday morning at 10 Eastern, which is normal. And then we're going to go away for a couple of days. We're going to go visit my sister up at her lake house in upstate New York. Okay. Oh, welcome back, Jen. So we leave early, probably Wednesday the 29th. So I'm not sure about Tuesday evening, the 28th. I might just need to sleep. Depends on what time hubby wants to get on the road. I haven't asked that question yet. And then we're going to be going probably until, I think we're back Wednesday, August 5th. And I have a hair appointment that day. And then the next day, Kellyanne arrives. So I'll probably stream when Kel's here. She doesn't usually mind. Just depends. She might stream with me. We'll talk about that. I'm not sure, but then we've got some things we're wanting to do. So I might be, MIA for a little bit. Because we've got things to do, don't we, Kel? We've got things we want to do. So, and some of it really is just floating in the pool, So we're just going to enjoy each other's company while we can and hang out and just do, girlfriend stuff. So, if you don't see me, don't be concerned. I'll try to keep up with keeping you apprised of what's going on. Putting a post on my channel. But yeah, so just don't be concerned if I forget. Sometimes Jacqueline will say, "Did you remember to put a post?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, no, I didn't do it." So, that's just what's going on here with us. So Kel and I are looking forward to our little get together, of course. And yeah, I don't know that we'll do too much art. We'll just see. So thanks for coming in, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I hope you didn't mind this little abstract kind of a day. And yeah, if you decide to try this, or maybe you do this regular and this is not a big deal to you, and I would love to see some of your art, just send me a little message, on Instagram. Pink Girly on Instagram. So yeah. All right. So that's it for me for today. I hope to see you all soon. Might not be on this channel, might be on another channel, but don't forget to take time to be creative. Enjoy the journey. And until I see you next time, dear sweet art buddies, I will say goodbye for now. You're welcome, Brenda. You took a picture to try. Good. I hope you have fun with it. Oh, bye, girls. Bye, Judy. Bye, Jackie. Nice to see you all. Bye-bye.